Never play a victim.
Mm-hmm.
Determine your narrative. What do I want to achieve? What do I need to achieve it? And then go for it. I love bringing out the best in people, whether you're young, an adult. I believe in helping people maximize their potential because I think every person is unique. And I want to help people recognize that you can be more than you are. When I started working with the young people, I realized that the young people are not the problem, actually. Whether you're a young person, teenager, an adult, have a desire. In the next 5 years, what do I want to achieve? Always have a vision. Always have a plan. Enjoy your youth, but don't waste your youthful years. There's a place where you're selfless and being kind and compassionate about other people. If it's having a detrimental effect on you, then you need to sort it out. It was affecting me a lot. A lot. I think if I didn't have, I think I might have had a mental breakdown.
You did say once upon a time that you had like self-image issues. What was that like, and how did you transition out of that?
A typical teenager goes through that phase. Now it's worse because then you have so much you're comparing to. You have social media. Around that time, I stumbled on.
Hello, family, and welcome back to today's episode of Building Your Better You, a space where we stop surviving and start growing intentionally, a space where we embrace growth to be our lifestyle. If that sounds like you and you want to rise above autopilot and embrace the version of you that is waiting to shine, then this podcast is for you. And I'm sure this episode will deposit in you mindset shifts, strategies, and lessons that you can apply and take along on your journey of building a better you. Let's get right into it, shall we? Hey guys, what's up, what's good, and welcome back to another episode of Building Your Better You podcast. In this episode, we have another wonderful guest with us today, someone that's very near and dear to my heart, part of my village, the people that raised me. So we're going to be unpacking her wealth of experience from corporate to cake to coaching to teens to parenting and just wisdom all around. So grab your tea, coffee, popcorn, and let's dive in. So today's guest we have, drum roll, Oyin, hey, how are you?
I am good.
Thank you so much for coming.
Having yourself things.
Thank you for having us.
I am delighted. How long have we had to plan this?
For a while.
So
You're a booked, busy lady of leisure.
I like it.
Everything and more. But anyway, who's Oyin? Tell us about yourself. Let the people know you better.
Let the people know me. I am a mother of two amazing teenagers. For me, they are a gift. I am always on the go. I am a happy person with intention. I am married to an amazing man. I am a parenting and youth coach.
You are.
And I love God.
Love it. So I'm going to ask you 3 icebreaker questions just to break the ice a little bit before we get into the deep stuff.
Yes.
So, first one, if you could eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would you choose?
It has to be rice with plantain and very spicy atadidi.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Didn't expect that one.
Yes. You can't go wrong with extra spicy atadidi. You can't.
Proper spiced.
As in the one that you are eating and your nose is running.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
With good fried plantain.
Yes. Not too ripe and not unripe. It has to just be that in between fried plantain. And it has to be cubed.
Oh. Does it have to be basmati or long grain?
Basmati.
Basmati rice.
Yes.
Correct. Sounds like a plan.
Yes.
And if you could get a free ticket, if I give you a free ticket today to go to anywhere tomorrow.
Yeah, Maldives.
Really? Yes. I didn't expect that, you know.
Where were you thinking?
I thought you were going to, no. I thought you were going to say somewhere like in the UAE or something.
UAE is like second home for me, so no.
Yeah.
If it was to go live, yes.
Okay.
Definitely. My dream place to live is Abu Dhabi. I love Abu Dhabi. It's like a more developed version of Aberdeen.
But not like too much.
Not too much. It's like, it's my dream. I keep telling my husband, let's go back, please.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. And what is one song that you're loving now? Quiet.
Acoustic quiet.
Okay.
I will be
Sing it, girl.
quiet.
Sing it, girl.
I'm always mixing it up, but it's not coming to my head. But it's quiet acoustic. I think it's Hillsong. Is it Hillsong?
Okay.
You speak through the quiet.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, that one.
Da, 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 da. I'll be fighting. I'll be quiet. Love it. Why that one?
Do you know what? It just reminds me that through the noise, if you just take a minute and just be quiet, you will hear God speak.
Yeah, that's
And
nice.
sometimes through the noise, there's so much noise around us. We just sometimes just need to take a minute.
Oh wow, love it.
So that's that for me.
That's funny because the last guest I had yesterday, their song was "Stand Still" by Maeve House. I've not yet listened to it, but I feel like it gives the same vibe of like, just take a chill pill for a second. Like,
always in a hurry.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, let's go back to like early days, Oyin.
Okay.
What was your growing up like? What parts of like your childhood has affected the you of today that we need to get into?
I was in another podcast earlier the week, and the person asked me a question that no one's ever asked me before. Person asked, what would I change about my childhood? If I had a choice, would I change my childhood? And it took me a minute. And I was like, nothing. I loved my childhood. I grew up with a single mother. My parents separated when I was 1. My mom raised 6 kids by herself.
Wow.
And not only did she raise 6 kids by herself, she basically adopted her siblings' kids. So our house was always packed. Full of people. On the average, most times we probably have between 11 and 20 people.
Oh my God.
It was packed.
Wow.
That's usually during the holidays, actually. So the higher limit is during the holidays. So we always had people around us. For me, community was big. And my mom, because she was a single mom, that community was really important.
Right.
Because she ran a business, so she always had to leave really early and came home really late. So her community, the village, the people around her were very instrumental in helping us become who we are. And I learned to be independent, because if she leaves, she tells us, we all know what we needed to do. We didn't have anyone mumming us, micromanaging us.
Right.
So my childhood, I learned community, I learned family, I learned independence, I learned hard work. There were tough times, a lot of tough times, because at times we had plenty, sometimes we didn't have a lot. But my mom, one big lesson, she always be content. With just the same way Paul says, you learn to abound and learn to be grateful when you have little. So contentment was a big thing growing up. So there's so many aspects of my childhood that I love. We were happy. We didn't have a lot, but we were genuinely happy. And then you didn't have the tissue, and you never compared yourself to other people. So I had a really happy childhood.
It's good.
Yeah.
And do you think that seeped into other aspects of your life as you grew up?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No doubt.
You did say once upon a time that you had like self-image issues. What was that like, and how did you transition out of that?
I think it's something a typical teenager goes through that phase. And I think now it's worse, because then you have so much you're comparing to. You have social media.
Of course.
And it's just a click of a button, you see it. In my time, I had sisters. I'd say now that we have natural fat genes in my household.
Yeah.
But growing up, I was the only one that was fat.
So you were the only one with the natural fat.
Yeah, I was the only one with the natural. So I think my problem came mostly comparing myself to my siblings, my sisters. I have a younger sister and an older sister. Comparing them, and of course, the people you see in school. I felt I was fatter than my sisters, definitely. There was so much about me that I look at the people around me and like, why am I different? I'm not different in a nice way. I felt I was different. I wasn't happy about a lot of things about me. And then I think I got to a point, I'm like, oh, these things you're complaining about, what can you do about it? You can do nothing. And I thought, okay. And I think around that time, I stumbled on the Serenity Prayer.
Okay.
And I say Serenity Prayer all the time. And you think I would learn the word verbatim. But no. But it says something like this. It says, God, give me the grace to be content with the things that I can't change and do something about the things I can, and give me the wisdom to know the difference. Something along those lines. So I think when I saw them, I'm like, okay, there's so many things about me I can't change. I'm short. There's nothing I can do that. Even my laugh, I didn't like my laugh. I tried to change my laugh.
Like,
That's exactly. I was like, I'm like, oh, you come on. I'm like,
stop it.
It's not gonna work. And because I have a laugh that comes from within,
Inside.
that head tossed back kind of. So yes, that was my laugh. And I couldn't do anything. I'm like, you know what? There's nothing I can do about that. But the one thing at that time I could do something about was my weight.
Yeah.
And I chose to be content with everything else. And I started loving myself. I remember I used to tell you guys about the mirror.
Yes.
Mirror.
Yes.
Mirror. Look in the mirror and say, girl, you are fine. And over time, I started believing it. I look at my legs. I'm like, check out those legs.
Wow.
And I started believing it. And before you knew it, it became real.
So you think there's power in the words?
Absolutely 100%. Because the truth is, if you don't speak to yourself positively, no one would.
No one would.
And if you don't appreciate yourself, no one else would. I fell in love with myself. The thing I could do something about, my weight. So I started doing sports. I would wake up in the morning because I was quite young. And I would run around the living room in the morning before school.
Right.
There was no gym. I couldn't go outside. I would run laps in my living room.
Wow.
So it's about intentionality. Never play the victim. Just do what needs to be done.
That's so good. It reminds me of a conversation that I actually having with a teenager, because I'm going to ask you like what you would say to this teenager or any person, I guess, young adult, human being that is in that phase of dissatisfaction. She was so upset that she went to a public school because everyone around her apparently went to a private school, and like I had to look for a way to like remind her of like her value, how she can still stand out in a public school, and how it doesn't, because she really thought because she didn't go to a private school, she was extremely less than the rest of her peers. But for someone that is in that space of, I love what you said about the serenity prayer, where you are, there's certain things I can't change about myself. But for some people, they've highlighted the thing that is just not working, or they just don't like about themselves or the environment. What would you speak to that person in terms of how they can get out, really?
I would ask the same question. What can you do about it? Nothing.
Okay.
So there's something, I also have another analogy.
Okay.
It goes like this. So you ask a question. Do you have a problem? You have yes and you have no. Do you have a problem? Yes. Can you do something about it? Yes. So why worry? Do it. What needs to be done. And if the answer is, do I have a problem? Yes. Can you do something about it? No. So why again are you worrying? Just leave it. If you have an issue and you know there's something you can do about it, do something about it. So this girl that is in the public school, can she do something about it? And maybe the answer would be no, maybe because her parents can't afford to pay her school fees. Then what you do is tell yourself that this public school does not define me. I can shine irrespective, do everything to be the best. And guess what? If you end up being the best, what stops you from getting a scholarship?
Yeah.
So don't let you can either play the victim in a situation or you step above it. No one is a victim of the society or the circumstance unless they want to be.
It. Yeah.
So she needs to decide. There are people that go to public schools and shine.
Yeah.
And people that go to public school and fade in the dark. What do you want to be? So you need to decide.
You have the power to.
You have the power to decide. Don't play the victim. Because private school does not define you. There are people that go to private school and end up a mess.
Yeah.
So it's not a function of the school you go to. It's a function of what you make out of where you are. And that's it. So that's what I will be telling her. It doesn't define you.
Yeah.
And how you see yourself is how other people see you.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't remember the quote, or it was in a book, but it's like the world would never put a price on you if you don't put a price on yourself first.
Absolutely.
You probably wouldn't be worth anything to them until you weigh yourself out, which is so good. And I think that part of being intentional, of not playing the victim, is so key, because so many people could be in this phase or stuck in the phase of, that's how life met me, that's how I met life, and I can't change my situation. But if you're actually honest with yourself and where you're at, you would find that maybe there are things that you can do. Because like you said, things like weight, for example, could be such a touchy subject for someone. It's just like you said, we have natural fat genes in my family. Do you get what I mean? But is there still something you can do rather than accepting the fate of a natural fat gene? Do you get what I mean? So I think being able to realize that there's power in, like, you have the power to change
Absolutely.
your outcome is so key.
There's one thing I always say is you determine the narrative. You can't say, oh, because of I went through this, that's why I'm like this. You have a choice.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice about the circumstance, but you can choose
how you
the
react to
outcome.
it. Yeah.
And I love my dad. My dad has always been an inspiration. His story, an inspiration to me. There's so many. I didn't spend that much time with my dad. I didn't meet my dad till I was 20, and he died when I was 23. So about 3 years. But those 3 years for me were impactful. My dad was an orphan. His parents passed away when he was really young, so he was kind of an orphan of the state. So he went to public schools, but he rose to the peak of his career. So he had his first degree in the UK, his second degree, his third degree in the UK, all funded. My dad taught me a lot. So my dad, in those days, there was, I don't know whether you know what the safari suits that these men used to wear. So the safari suit used to be in the 70s.
Okay.
And because he traveled a lot internationally and he was British groomed person, he always wore those suits. And then he got to a stage in his career and he said, no, I'm African. I'm African.
So I will wear.
So he was the first person I ever knew that wore their traditional African attire to any international function. So you'd see frames and frames of him at conferences, international conferences, the United Nations, and he's the only black guy wearing a traditional attire. Not because he came to realize who I am. I love who I am. That even though the Western world don't recognize who we are, I appreciate what I am and who I am. And he was proud to do that. So it's okay to stand out. You decide. Decide.
Yeah. That's so amazing. I'm not even going to coaching yet, but since we know that you're into parent coaching, do you think parents have a percentage to play in establishing of their child's identity of who they are and being able to be comfortable in being different, if that makes sense?
Absolutely.
Or is it just the child?
Oh, no.
Okay.
100%. The parents have a huge part to play. And that, for me, that's why I use the word intentionality when I talk about parenting.
Yeah.
You need to be intentional about your parenting.
Yeah.
You are your children's biggest fan. You need to celebrate their individuality. So there's so many aspects to it. It's not you wanting your child to be something you want them to be. It's identifying who they are and bringing out the very best in them by celebrating them. Don't put them down. You beef them up. Again, I like to use examples.
Yeah, I love examples.
My daughter, when she was in primary school, we moved schools, and the school she went to was predominantly Caucasian, so she was one of the minority. And my daughter would come home and say, "Mom, can I have my hair like, let's for namesake, I'll say Lisa.
Okay.
Can I have my hair straight like Lisa?" So I said, "No, you can't."
No, girl.
Because that's not the kind of hair you got.
You're keeping the kinky curls.
I said, "Look, your hair is so beautiful. Have you noticed that sometimes when you have it down, they just want to touch it? You're unique. You're special." And then my daughter will come back and say this. And it took about a space of 3 years. Because I would always say, "So how did your day go? Who did you play with? What did you do?" And sometimes she'll come home and say, my friends didn't want to play with me today. I say, "If they don't want to play with you, play with yourself." I said, if they don't want to play with you, they're missing out. Because girl, you are
the thing.
Like, go to the playground, you play hopscotch, you skip, you do whatever, and maybe find someone that doesn't have a friend. You go be the person's friend. I'm like, celebrate yourself. If they don't want to play with you, they're the ones with the problem.
You are that girl.
And we went on, and you know, she got comfortable with playing by herself.
Right.
And then it went on for a while, and I'm like, girl, you need to make friends. But she was comfortable in that. I remember the last leg of that phase. So this phase I'm talking about took us about 2 to 3 years. Her wanting to be somebody else. Her wanting validation from other people. I think she was 8 or something. And we just, because we usually go for a walk on a Sunday after service, after meal, just go for a walk. And I asked her one day, I asked her a question. So, if there was one thing you could change about yourself,
what would it be?
What would it be? And my daughter looked at me and said, "Mom, Absolutely nothing. I love everything about
Oh.
me. And I was like,
Jackpot!
my job here is done. But the thing is, and for some kids it's easy.
Yes.
For some it's not so
Yes.
easy.
Yes.
But you as a parent, you can't stop celebrating your kids. Celebrate them.
Yeah.
Build their self-esteem. And sometimes some kids are like, you're only saying that because I'm your child. But eventually, the more you say, it would one day click.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be the one pulling your child down. You should be the one picking them up.
Absolutely. And I love how you spoke to the timeline as well, because sometimes it sounds easier said than done. Because like I said, when I was speaking to this girl, it just felt like I was speaking to like a brick wall. And I was like, why is she not getting it? Because obviously you, after having gone through puberty and whatnot, you understand it now. But especially at that age, it takes time, and parents need to be willing to put in that, like you said, intentionality and work on that, their confidence every day. Which is funny, today's Mother's Day, we're speaking about it. And I heard a story today about Thomas Edison. Do you know about his mom? Yeah, when they sent a letter to her through him from the teacher, and basically the letter said like, take your child out of here, like he's dumb, like he's trash. But the son gave it to her and asked her to read it to him, but she never read what was in the letter because of how obviously down watering or whatever the letter was. So she basically flipped it around as she was reading it to him, and she was like, where it says like, your child is dumb, take him out of the school, she read, he is such a genius, we don't have the best teachers for him, so teach him yourself, basically. And he felt obviously confident about that. It was until she died many years past that he found the letter in her safe, and he read what I actually said, and he was like shattered. But that obviously instilled a lot of confidence in him versus if he had heard what the teacher had to say. So being able to recognize that as a parent, you're like the first point of their confidence, of their value instilling. I think some of us probably forget that and downplay that.
Yeah, I think a lot of parents do, and we don't understand the impact of the things we do, what impact it has on kids. And that's why I'm all about intentionality. It's a case of decide what kind of child you want, and then do everything
to build that
to make that happen. Because yes, some of us sometimes we use words with our kids that we really shouldn't be having with our kids, using on our kids. So we are responsible. So if you want your child to be confident, you need to know how you speak with your kid.
So you can't expect them to be confident and you're speaking otherwise. That's
just like me, what kind of child are you? Do you not listen? That's again, you're already pulling your child down, telling your child basically
you're not a good listener.
So it's so important how we interact with our children. We need to think about every single thing we do.
That's deep. Let's go back to corporate coaching, cakes. So before we even got into this coaching thing, you were in corporate, then you went to cake before we got to coaching. However, kids have always been in your life.
Yes.
So like, before we go back into corporate, firstly, why have you always been surrounded by kids? Like, what's your thing with children and teenagers?
I think I have to say it's teenagers, not children.
Okay, sorry.
I don't have the patience for children. I think for me, I always say that everything God allows us to pass through.
Oof. Speaker girl.
Is for a reason. You might not get it at that time. And because we are vessels, instruments in the hands of God to use as he pleases, he can use us however he wants us. And a lot of the time, those things he allows us to pass through, they are so inconvenient for us, but we should always remember that it's not about us. It's about him. So sometimes I say, when people say, God, why me? Why me? The question, why not?
Yes.
Why not?
So good.
Because it's not about you.
It's
not about you. It's not your agenda. It's God's agenda. So all the things I passed through as a teenager that were seemingly tough, they shaped me to who I became. And then I realized it's not just about me.
It's about
I can help other young people navigate the problems that I faced as a teenager. And so it was so easy for me a lot of the time with the young people to identify with your problem because I've been there. I've been there. So just how the Bible talks about Jesus, we don't have a high priest that is not aware
of what we're going through
because he
went through it.
And it's all about you having to feel what other people are feeling. So the reason I work with young people a lot is because I've been there. And I think I started working with young people quite early in my journey,
Okay.
that it was easy for me to keep that feeling. So some people look at me like, even though I'm just slightly over 18, I still act like I'm 18,
Slightly over.
slightly over, just because I've been in touch with the feelings of young people. And sometimes I see the struggles young people go through. I'm like, it's not that deep. So helping you understand that. And like you said with that girl, it's not one conversation. It's not two, it's not three.
Yeah.
Because it's a mindset shift that needs to happen.
Yeah.
And that's why I love working with young people, because I look at their issues, I'm like, guys, it's really not that deep. If you look at it deeper, it's not that deep.
Yeah, but they just can't see it then.
They just can't see that. But what I've realized with young people, when I tell them I've been there, I know. People people relate more with people that they feel that you've been through it. So it's easy for them to
relate.
get. So what I went through, it wasn't because all my siblings look at me now and like, oh, you so playful. I say, and they are the ones that God has blessed them. And I said, when I struggled, and I think that struggle made me realize I can't be passive. I need to be on it. So that's it. So every situation you pass through, if you allow it, it will transform you into a better person.
That's so good. If you allow it.
If you allow it.
Wow.
So the why me's that we always say as children of God, we need to stop it. We really do, because nothing happens to us by mistake, and we need to understand that.
Yes.
You just say,
and trust.
God, give me the grace to
go through
it, because I know it's for a reason. I think I remember there was a cartoon I'd seen about this guy that had a cross on his back. And he was like, God, this is heavy. God, this is heavy. You need to help me make it lighter. And he prayed and prayed and prayed. And okay, God reduced the size of the cross. And then he got to the end of the road and there was a gully. And so he needed a bridge. So ordinarily, if that
was long enough,
was longer, he could have put it over and crossed. We want comfort now and not wanting to learn the lesson that God wants us to learn. So it's a case of whatever you're going through, ask God for the grace. To, as much as I don't like it, just like Jesus said, but let your will be done. Allow your will be done. Let your patience be perfected.
Okay, amazing, love it. So in that phase of, I guess, knowing that you love young people, like, how did you then get into the corporate world? Was it always a thing of like a side?
I think with the young people, it was just something I've always been really passionate for me, and it was never work.
Okay.
It's never been work. It was never something I thought I could do this as a job. It was for me, I was always just willing to help. Willing to help. So it was never a job for me. So of course, I had my first degree, didn't do anything relating to my first degree for one day.
What was your first degree?
Geography.
Oh.
I know.
I didn't know that.
Never worked one day.
Oh, wow.
In geography, never. Then I did a second degree in management. And then I did a job, graduated, got a job in oil and gas, worked as a market analyst. I worked in oil and gas for 6 years, and then I decided I like making cakes. I resigned my job and opened a cake business.
What was that season like? Because you've done it twice. We're getting to second time. I don't know. Like, is it any different? Like, was it just, I'm going to hop into this, or were you really like...
So with the cakes, I just started making the cakes on the side. So I did my first degree in Nigeria, and I moved here for my master's. So while I was in uni, I did cakes on the side just for extra money.
Okay, so was it something you loved doing?
I've always been a very creative person, very good with my hands. So I did anything that you can do with your hands.
Right.
I'm really naturally good with it.
Okay.
But cakes was something that actually enjoyed it. So I used to sew.
Okay.
Anything.
Hand
is me.
Right.
I took on to cakes quite well. I enjoyed it. So when I got to uni, and as a uni student, your parents never give you enough allowance.
No, they don't.
So I thought, for extra cash, I can make cakes for fellow students. So that's what I did. I had a good life in uni
because of that.
I was living big. So when I finished uni, I came here to the UK to do my master's. And I looked around like, no one's going to pay good money for cakes. So I never thought about making cakes.
Right, okay.
So, of course, got a job. And then I just fell back into cake because I make a cake for a friend and then somebody else. And I thought, okay, I can make this into a side hustle. So I did it as a side hustle. After my second child, I thought, I'll go part-time and see where this takes me.
Okay.
And then I realized, actually,
It can take me
It
somewhere.
can take me somewhere. So I was away for work, and I thought, you know what? I asked myself, in the next 5, 10 years, where do I see myself? Do I see myself working for someone or doing my own thing? I'd always wanted to do my own thing,
Right.
but I didn't know what it was.
Right.
So I said, I don't see myself working for someone. And I thought, you know what? I want to quit. And I didn't make that decision one day. I'd been telling my husband, oh, I'd like to do this full time. And he's like, no,
Okay.
no. He said, no, no. And then this trip to Milan, I just called him one evening and I said, you know what?
I'm done.
I really want to resign. And he said, okay. I'm like, did you hear me? As in like,
I'm
done?
I'm out.
He said, yes. Yes. He said, it's fine. So I came back to Aberdeen and tendered my resignation letter. So I quit. And then I went to cake making full time.
From the next.
Opened the shop in December 2013.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were you aware of the magnitude of what you were going into, or was it just, we're going to take it one day at a time?
We're going to take it one day at a time. I didn't know how big I wanted. I just knew that's what I wanted to do. But you always want it to get better and better. So I was always intentional.
Yeah.
Growing and growing.
Yeah.
And growing.
Where did you get the notion or the idea that you always wanted to be an entrepreneur? Did you see anyone around you do it and then you admired it, or was it just something innate?
My mom ran a business.
Okay.
And I don't think it looked glamorous or anything.
So you were aware of the ugly, the dirty.
I think in my head I just wanted to be my own boss. It didn't even occur to me. And now looking at it now, 3 of us, of her 6 kids,
are entrepreneurs.
Actually 4.
Okay.
Are entrepreneurs.
Wow.
4 of us.
Runs in the blood.
I think it does. I think it's what you associate. For me, that was just a normal thing.
Right.
I think that probably was what it was. It was just,
you just saw it as
just normal that you did your own thing. I think that might have been what it is.
Oh wow. So when you then got into cakes, what was that journey like?
I think number one, I was a foreigner in a country where I didn't really know people. I didn't have the privilege of having people I grew up with, families,
around,
friends that would buy from you, because
you just you.
So I had to grow my clientele. I had to do a lot of work integrating with the community. It was hard. It was hard. Again, funding, I was self-funded. Of course, I grew my business organically. So with a part-time, always saved. I didn't just always make a cake and then spend the money. It was just growing and then navigating an environment that I wasn't familiar with, because I didn't have a lot of people that I can take knowledge from and say, so tell me how, because I think we were one of the first set of people in our kind of setting that came to the Aberdeen that started doing their own thing.
Okay.
So there was really hard. There wasn't somebody I could say, oh, could you be my mentor? What do I do? So it was me trying to navigate that
from scratch
space myself, making mistakes and trying to figure things out. It was tough, but because I was determined to make it work. I'd even had people from my old work that would come by the shop. I'm like, oh, you're still here? I'm like, yes, I am still here. And I ain't going nowhere. So I did have people that were just waiting on me to make a mistake or fail. So I was quite determined, like, I'm going to show y'all
that I can.
Speak
to how important having a vision is then in all of this, because I know you said, what did you see yourself doing in 5 to 10 years before you then transitioned into cake?
Yeah.
If you didn't have that long-term plan or goal, do you think it would have been more difficult to weather
I think so.
the waves?
I think so. For me, I always, every now and then, tell myself, where do I want to see myself in the next 5, 10 years? I do that quite regularly.
Right. It centers you.
Yeah, it centers me, because then I can make a plan. I can make a plan. If I'm not doing this, or what am I going to do? What do I need to get to the stage of what I want to do? Then I need to start working towards it. I don't just wing every day as it comes. I need to decide, what am I doing in the next, and I don't do it every year. Yeah. But within a vision, I tell myself 5, 10 years, where do I see myself? Right. If I don't see myself in this, then I need to start
change it. Do it. Reminds me of there's this activity, actually. I don't know if it's in my journal, but it basically talks about how there are 3 different paths that you can take. The path where, if you keep going in this trajectory with the actions that you have, with the space that you're in now, where will you end up? Yeah. If you take a different route, say you change something slightly, where would you end up? But if you change something radically, which is radical path, how different would your life be? And I think it speaks back to the intentionality and like being super intentional about where you want to be and how your life should turn out. If you reach this point in the video, then you are a champion. You're committed to building a better version of yourself, and you're investing the time and seeking the knowledge required to do so. And I've got just the right tool to accompany you on this journey of becoming better. And that's none other than the Better Days Journal, a journal that was created with you and your best days in mind. Each entry offers the opportunity for growth, for reflection, for gratitude, and everything you need to maximize a single day. In its pages, you find prompts that help you pause and learn from the lessons of each day. Remember, it's in how we spend each day that creates the future we desire. So here's to better days. Here's to building your better you, one reflection at a time. You can grab your copy at DMY&x or any of the links linked in the description box below. So yeah, I think it's so important, but some people might say, go with the flow. God it'll pan out however it wants to pan out. Like, what would you say to that in terms of planning and having a vision?
At the end of the day, everything is centered around God, but God gives you a brain for a reason.
Yeah.
For me, in the corporate world, I really enjoyed my job. But again, I told myself, in the next odd years, where would I be? And I knew that's not where
you wanted to be.
Yeah. And I always said, I determined the narrative. Don't play the victim. Don't say, well, there's nothing I can do. I'll just keep going. No.
And nothing's gonna change.
But do you have a dream? Do you have a desire? Then do something about it. I remember when I started Cakes, people like, you're lucky. I wish I could do what you're doing. And my question is like, so why?
Why not?
Why not? It's just because, I don't know. For me, I would rather do something and fail at it.
Yes.
Than wish. I don't do wishing.
Yes.
I don't do wishing. If I can do something about it, I'll do something about it.
And get the feedback from it.
And get it. And then even if it doesn't work, I know I've done it. So that is out of my mind. I'm not going to be wishing. Decide, don't say, I wish I could become a teacher. So what's stopping you from being a teacher? Teaching doesn't make that much money. But are you happy doing what you're doing? Not really. So why are you torturing yourself? Do what would make you happy. Sometimes it's not all about the money.
Yes.
It's about what fulfillment would you have in life. And I probably would just take me then to the next phase of my life, which was coaching.
Yes.
So doing cakes for so long, I went into cake making because passion, loved cake making. I was passionate about cake making. I loved cake making.
Yeah.
I got excited. For me, it was my place of escape. So I wanted to do it. And then I got into it. And then it got to a point where I was no longer enjoying it. But I'd built it so much, and I'm thinking, okay.
What do we do now?
What do we do now? And for me, you know what? COVID was a defining moment in my life.
As in many people's lives, I can imagine.
It was a defining moment because I am built to do things in auto drive, and it has to be excellent. I'm always striving for the best. And then COVID came and everything stood still. Everything stood still. So I couldn't run the business. The business we had to shut down for a little while. But I was happy.
And you're like, what is this feeling?
Yes, I was so happy being with my kids, being with my husband. I was happy being around my family. And I'm like, so what are we chasing?
Yeah.
What is going on? The world didn't come to an end, but I'm happy. And then it made me redefine success. What is my idea of success? Is it chasing the next big thing and the next big thing?
Yeah.
And the next big thing. And I was like, wow. And that period, I really didn't really understand it. So at that point, I was in the process of moving premises. I wanted a bigger space because I wanted to do so many things.
Yeah.
And we moved in 2021. So my next goal, which I had set, I had achieved it.
Right.
So I'd got this bigger premises, started doing a lot of workshops, corporate events. So I was kind of living my dream.
Your dream.
So the question then was, now what's the next big thing? And then come December 2021, I realized I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
And I told myself, are you nuts?
After building it for so long.
After investing this much in a new place,
Mm.
you're not doing what?
Mm.
But I realized that I don't want the next thing for that. I don't want to do this anymore because I'm now doing it because I need to be successful
Yeah.
based on society's definition of success. But I don't want this. For me, this is not success.
Mm-hmm.
I'm no longer happy doing this. I thought it was just a fluke.
Right.
And I thought it's just a phase, maybe it's just a midlife crisis.
Okay.
And I thought I'll hang in there, but I realized I wasn't happy.
Mm.
I was no longer happy doing what I was doing. And then the question then I asked myself was, okay, so if you don't do this, what
Would you do?
would you do? And I was trying to figure out, because I'd done this for so many years now. This was me. I almost felt like my identity
It was tied to this.
And I was like, so what am I going to be doing? So I kept, and that took me a year. And then I think it was in November, the year after, I had signed up for volunteering in a school as a mentor in a high school. And I remember when I first went to see my mentee, who I was going to be mentoring, something jumped up inside of me.
Mm.
And I said, this is what I'm meant to be doing. I'm meant to go back to working with young people. You would think I was just given a lottery ticket, as in not a lottery win.
Yeah.
I was so excited. I'm
Yeah.
like, now this is what I'm meant to be doing. This is the next phase. So I went to do training to do the training because now I knew this is my next phase of my life. And then I prepared. I wanted to sell and prepared. And then in August 2024, I just shut it down. Like, that's it, done.
Wow. That must have been a difficult decision.
Very, very, very difficult because it was a good business. It was a good business. And I thought, if somebody handed this to me when I wanted to start, it would be like
a lottery
winning
win.
the lottery. And I was happy to give it away for free.
Wow.
But a lot of people that I approached, it was too big. They didn't want that. That was too much. So I almost thought, oh, you just built a monster. And I thought, I won't hold on to something for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
So it was tough because I thought I'd built this thing and I built it well. It was a good business. It would be a shame to just let it go. But
yeah,
it's for me, again, material things. I didn't grow up like that. It's not about what people think or about keeping up appearances, about what's important to you. And for me, that was no longer the important thing.
Which is funny because you might have felt like that, but I'm sure the majority of people around you would have probably felt the opposite or told you the opposite in terms of, this is a great thing. Like, why, whatever you're thinking is a fluke, you know?
Yeah.
So like, what would you say to someone that's in that space, whether it's a business owner or someone that is being, I guess, trying to convince themselves to stay in something that they know deep down no longer serves me or my fulfillment?
I like that question. When I started feeling like that, I'd mentioned it to a few people, and again, they're like, how? No. But the people that were really, really close to me, my immediate family, my husband, my siblings, my mom, they knew what I was going through mentally. It was the toughest time for me mentally. So people that saw that I was doing a lot more physical activity, hiking, that was for me was my coping mechanism because I was really unhappy, very unhappy. Sometimes I go home and I'm crying because I'm like, I really don't want to do this. My husband saw it because he encouraged me to do it. And then he realized that this isn't working for her. I summed up the courage to tell my mom, I don't want to do this anymore. And she was like, okay, stop it. And I was like, wow. Because if my mom said,
it's okay to stop.
It's okay to stop. The people that told me it was okay, I could count them on the hand.
Wow.
So what I realized that because I knew I needed to stop, I stopped sharing that information with anybody else.
Right.
Because they didn't get it.
Yeah.
Because it didn't make any sense to anyone. Why would you give up
something so big? Yeah.
Why would you just give it up? People didn't get it. And then I realized that, it's not, don't stop talking to people. So for me now, it was between me and God. God, I need to stop this. And even then, even though I knew I wanted to stop it, I needed God to tell me, okay, now do it. And it was like God needed me to pass through another phase. And it was like almost every night I was in God's presence. I'm like, God, I need to. I would cry, I would pray, Lord, do something, just do something, just make it easy, do it, do it, do it. And this phase was like for another year and a half.
Wow.
It was a tough year and a half. And I remember then we set a date for closing. And I remember I had gone to a wedding event. One of our suppliers had invited me for a wedding along with other suppliers. And I was at that wedding venue. And I couldn't do it.
Wow.
I couldn't do it. I left the wedding like an hour after I arrived, and I went to my car and I was weeping. I'm like, God, I can't be in this environment. I can't do this. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. And I tried to call my brother because I just needed to talk to somebody, but he didn't call. And I wept and wept, got home, continued weeping. I remember I was in the car. My son came out to meet me and said, Mom, are you okay? I'm like, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be fine. And then I got into the house. I continued weeping. And that was the most I'd wept in my life because I think I just had
enough.
And then my brother called me, I think later that day or the next day, and I explained what he was saying. He said, so why were you crying? Like, what regrets do you have? No, I was like, I wish I was able to sell it. At least I have something to show for all the years that I worked and whatever. And then he asked me a question. He said, so what regrets do you have? And I paused and I'm like, I actually have none. I have none.
Wow.
None. I am proud of what I built. I am proud of what I achieved.
The journey you went through.
I am proud it has made me who I am. And I could not pay for that.
Yeah.
Money cannot replace that. And that was all I needed. And that was a peace that I got. And then I knew that, yes, it was time.
Yeah.
And I think I needed to get to that point where I had no regrets.
Right.
That I was happy. Because truth is that if God allowed me to shut it
in the midst
a year before, time before that, I would live in regret. How I wish. But I think I just needed that conversation and that time to think about all the things. And I have no regrets. None. Absolutely.
Wow.
None. And it's just amazing how God works, not with our timing, but his timing. And I always say the journeys you pass through, it's not about you.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of things that I went through and the point I am, I don't fully understand.
Yeah.
But I understand it's not me.
Yeah.
And I said, God, whatever you want to do with that, that chapter, I know you will do.
Yeah.
I'm just a vessel. So however you chose to have done it.
Wow, that's so good, especially speaking to like surrender, because sometimes we can hold on to something so tight, whether that's a career or a situation or a thing or a person. But sometimes, like you said, it's just a case of you might just have that thing for a season. You might experience it for just a while. And then we struggle to let it go.
Yeah.
Or when we know we need to move on, to still hold on to it just because of what it seems like in society and how it's received by family or friends. But really in life, as scripture says, like we come with nothing and we leave with nothing. So really with each experience, whether that is you being speaking about it with another guest, like whatever career phase that you're in, like it doesn't tie you down to that. Some things you just go through, live through. And like you say, that chapter might serve someone else later or something else later. But being bound and being held down is it can be such a chokehold. And many people might struggle to be able to free themselves in that season.
I think one of the biggest thing is what people think.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing. And it resounds in every area of our lives. Somehow we dress because what would people think? We do whatever our hair out because that's what expected. We go somewhere and we act a certain way because that's what people think. We are in a job and we stick with it because that's what people basing your life about other people's expectation. For me, it's about the most important person in this picture is God. What does God think? Who cares? What other people and that for me has always been how I've governed my life. And a lot of people will think, oh, Oyin is just something else. Just leave her. She's in a different world of our own. But that's how I've walked with God.
Mm.
It's all about, so my journey is even as a young person. So there's part of my teenage years that for me was tough.
Mhm.
I went through a phase where I was ostracized from everyone that I loved,
Mm.
everyone. And that was for a period of about 3 years. I had no interaction with my family or anyone
Mm.
that I loved. So I came to realize oh, because like this world is just you and God.
It's just you and God.
Yeah, because I literally only had God at that
Wow.
point. I literally only had God. I didn't have family. I didn't have friends. It was like an wilderness. When you call it I don't
Yeah.
think there's such thing as wilderness moments then. But for me, it was a wilderness moment. It was just me and God. And I learned that the most important person in my story is God. What He says is the most important thing. And of course, out of the kindness of my heart, I had to think, for when it came to cakes, I had to think I had employees, I had customers, I had people that would look up to me. And then, of course, that journey, 2.5 years of that,
Yeah.
I realized at the end of the most important person is me.
Mm.
What impact is it having on me?
Yeah.
So I can't live my life for
Others.
I need to think there, and there's a place where you're selfless and being kind and compassionate about
course.
other people, but it's having a detrimental effect on you,
Then we
then
need to ask questions.
you need to sort it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think that was for me, it was important. At the end of the day, it was affecting me a lot, a lot. I think if I didn't have God, number one, and if I didn't have things that I was able to use as coping mechanism, my fitness, my exercise outdoors, I think I might have had a mental breakdown.
Wow. So we are now transitioned into coaching. How?
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Was it the liberation? Was it the feeling of I feel alive again?
Yes, that's one of it. I do feel alive. This is right up my street. I love working with young people. I love bringing out the best in people, whether you're young, an adult. I believe in helping people maximize their potential because I think every person is unique.
Yeah.
And I want to help people recognize that you can be more than you are.
Yeah.
You can aspire for more things. And I think when I started working with the young people back again, I realized that the young people are not the problem, actually. Young people are not the problem. We all look at young people, I'm like, young person, your problem, but they're not the problem. It's how they've been parented. It's how they have been parented. And again, I go back to the parents. No parent parents their children with the deliberation of them becoming,
Of course,
a pain,
Turning
menace to
left. Yeah.
society, or a headache. No one does that.
Yeah.
No one says, now I have you, this child. I'm going to make you the worst teenager, your worst adults that the world has ever seen. No one does that.
No one.
But the thing is, a lot of the time we parent without thinking about what we're doing. We don't think about what we're doing and the impact it has on our kids.
Long lasting.
And that's just what it is. So I started doing parenting coaching because I just want parents to begin to be more intentional about how they parent their children. Think about every single thing you're doing and the impact it would have on your children. So I always say, just the same way you have a business plan, a career goal, whatever, think about what kind of adult do I want? So you have to say, what kind of adult would I want my child to be? And then you put everything that you then do with your child has to align with that. If I want my child to be sensitive, if I want my child to be kind, if I want my child to be hardworking, if I want my child to be compassionate, if I want my child to be responsible, respectful, then what are the things I'm doing to ensure that happens?
That's so good. And being privileged to see so many young people grow over the years.
Yes.
What would you say you've noticed or you think is important to kind of get right in those younger years to steer the direction in the right way?
Yeah.
Later.
Yeah. Being present as a parent is so important. Touch, loving them unconditionally, doing things with your children, activities, fun, and also instilling your values in your children. Your children, once you begin to start having children, decide what values do I want to run my home by.
Yeah.
You need to have a vision.
Yeah.
You need to write out your values. In my home, I want my home to be full of love. I want my home to be full of kindness.
Right.
I want respect to be key in my home. I want my children to be hardworking. I want them to be responsible.
Yeah.
So you need to do those things.
Right.
So, and then not just write it out. Decide. So if I want my children to be loving, I need to show them Love. How do I show love? By spending time with them, touching, hugging. And depending on the culture that you come from, it might be harder for some.
Yeah.
But parenting is about intentionality. Be intentional. For people like me, there was nothing like physical touch. There was nothing like I love you. What's
Yeah.
that? What's that? There's no
Foreign.
the way you know your parents love you was they put food on your table, clothes on your back, and a roof over your head.
Yeah.
That's it. That's how you knew. So we never did all those things of touch, spend time, play with your kids, go to the park, have conversations. You didn't do those kind of stuff. And that's why as much as I love my Nigerian culture, there's so much about it that is not quite right.
Yeah.
And again, the Western culture is good. Again, there's something about the Western culture that are not. So it's about with every different culture you come across, there's always some good things.
Yeah.
Pick the good things. Leave out the bad.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, not just even the cultures you live. When you go on holiday, you find things you're like, oh, I like that idea. Pick the good things. And so for me, for my kids, I knew what I wanted for my kids. So I am so big on responsibility for kids at a very early.
Yes, you are.
Age. I am big on it. So your kids from as early as age 2 and 3, they can do stuff. Your kids can do stuff. You can start by letting them feed themselves. Once they've mastered that, okay, take your bowl and put it on the table. Once of that, you put your toys away. Give them responsible, age-appropriate chores.
Yeah.
So again, with everything you do with your child, it has to align with what you want them to become.
That's so good. If we flip the question around in terms of what you think young people, based on your experience, they should get right in the earlier parts of their lives to be able to steer adulthood and the rest of their lives in the right direction, what would you say?
Definitely having a vision. You don't think about the now. Don't think about now.
Yeah.
Ask yourself in the next 5, because you have been brilliant. Because I look at you and I'm like,
thank you.
there's so many things about Dami. I'm like, wow. Dami, you have been one of the people that I've worked that you have always been forward thinking.
Thank you so
in
much.
so many ways. And I'm like, a lot of the things you achieved even younger, a lot of your mates were not. Because a lot of young people think about the now. I'm useful. I'm just going to have fun.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with you having fun.
But there's a later.
There's a later. Think about the later too. Don't just think about the now. Think about the later. What do I want to achieve? When do I want to achieve it? What do I need to get to where I want to go? Youthful exuberance. Never just think about the now. So whether you're a young person, a teenager, an adult, have a desire. In the next 5 years, what do I want to achieve? Always have a vision. Always have a plan. Always, always, always. Don't think about the now. You can enjoy the present, but while you're enjoying the present, think about the future. So I'm not one of those that believes, don't enjoy your youth now. Focus on the future. No, you can do both.
Balance it.
It's a balance. Enjoy your youth, but don't waste your youthful years.
Yeah. Because time.
Yeah.
And I think a concept there that applies with money, but I think in everything in life, especially as a youth, is like the compounding of time. Like time on your side is such a valuable thing that we can take for granted, whether that is using it in leveraging it in building habit, the life experiences you have, like being able to leverage time, because you won't have it again in the same way.
People you associate with too, that's really really important.
So key.
So the people you aspire to be like, those are the people you should be. Because if all you're doing is mingling with people that are not forward thinking, that's just going to be how you expose yourself to different places, different experiences, and it builds you up a lot. Ideally, these are things as parents your parents should be doing. Your parents should be challenging you not to think about the now. If you for some reason didn't have that privilege, you need to do it yourself. I always, like, as I said, determine the narrative. Never play a victim. Determine your narrative. What do I want to achieve? What do I need to achieve it? And then go for it.
Yeah, because no one's gonna come and save you.
Nobody's gonna come and save me. And some practical things I do with my kids. So Christmas presents, we stopped giving the odd Christmas presents. So we then started just giving them a token money.
Okay.
Christmas. So then you buy whatever you want. And we stop giving you money to buy for you make your own money.
And buy
your own money, because you all have skills. I told them you can start cutting grass.
Utilize your skills,
You
girl.
have Kishi, you know how to draw. Draw and go and sell.
That's
market.
so important.
Because you can't keep spending our money. And then that teaches them the value of money. So now my daughter would maybe go to a shop and like, oh, mom, this jumper looks really nice. I'm like, I think so too.
Buy it.
Buy it. Maybe you have money. And then she'll be like, ah, she calculates and says,
No.
maybe not. But that's because not that we can't buy it.
Yes, of course.
But you're not going to teach them anything.
Yeah.
If you could. So like my son, he started working and then he has a side hustle. He buys stuff. Don't tell anybody. He buys stuff off Vinted.
Right.
He buys stuff anywhere and then he goes to resell it at a profit. He buys from somewhere and resells it. Buys from somewhere and resells it. And I'm like, I said, your first car, don't be under the illusion
that
anybody's buying it for you.
Wow.
Don't even be tripping. So they've become so independent that they don't even ask us for money. My son, I think the last time he probably asked for money, 2 years. He doesn't.
Wow.
He won't, because it's not that we can't do it, but if we keep, you won't.
They'll just get used to it.
Get used to it, and it's not going to benefit you in any way. And you know, somebody once said something that's when we as parents do things for our kids, all you're doing is making yourself feel good as a parent.
And taking away their...
Yeah, and you're not helping that child.
Yeah.
You're feeling good. I'm a good parent. I'm providing my children. I'm feeding them. But they need to get to a point where they can do things themselves. So you need to step back. Just like the way a bird would take his kid and just throw it in the sky. And like, what a horrible that is. But if she leaves that bird in the nest, it's never gonna fly.
Yeah.
So as parents, sometimes you just need to step back and see the discomfort of your children, because it's out of discomfort that they grow.
Yeah. What if some parents say, but I don't want my kids to suffer the way I did. That's why I've built what I've built so far. How do I get the fulfillment of helping them out? Because an example, there's someone I worked with, and she had like 4 or 5 kids, and they all lived at home, and every time she came to work, she was just always complaining because she was struggling, because she did all the cleaning, she did all their rooms. She's always giving them money, bear in mind, like, they're in their 20s. And I was just saying to her, like, you can change some of these things, but a part of her was like, oh, this is what I'm meant to be doing as a parent. What would you say to that?
Send her to me.
That's why you're there.
That's why I'm here. Because a lot of them like, oh, I suffered, I went through so much, I don't want my kids to do that. But the question you ask yourself is, how did you build what you did?
Yes.
You built it because you've been taught resilience.
Yeah.
You've been taught to fight for what you want.
Yeah.
So with our parenting, there's good bits of it and then not so good bits of it.
Yeah.
You ask yourself, sit down and say, now, who am I? What are the pluses? What helped me get to
here.
this point? With every parent we have, there's always a good bits of our parenting and there's a bad bits.
Yeah.
But you can't just chuck everything out. You need to take a minute and see,
separate the bath from the baby.
So who am I? What are the good things about me? What are the things that my parents did that made me this way? I'll take it. What are the bad things? Okay, leave them aside. So she saying she struggled and she's therefore doing everything for her children. So how have you empowered those children? So if you're no longer in the picture,
how will they live?
How will they survive?
Yeah.
Have you equipped them enough to be able to survive without you? If you mother or father your kids too much and they can't function without you, you failed as a parent.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
The excessive shielding that is like you said, seemingly empowering you isn't beneficial to them.
No, it's not helping your kids at all. So sometimes as a parent, it might be painful, but you tell yourself it's for that child's good. And some of us as parents want to be our kids' friends. We want to make them happy. Reality is you're not always happy. And you grow in the tough times. You grow in the tough times. But if everything's always comfortable, you're not going to grow. So if you make an environment too comfortable for your kids, they're not going to thrive. They're not going to thrive. So that's why I talk about the goal. Have the vision, and then you work towards attaining. So if part of your values is responsible, and you get to a point where these children are not responsible for anybody, then you need to think, what can I do to make them responsible? Oh, these children are not hardworking. So what can I do to do that? So you have to have those values.
Wow.
Decide what kind of adult do I want, and then work towards it.
So good. Love it.
Yeah.
And in this your busy life, busy schedule, you've always maintained some level of fitness
Yeah.
in one way or the other.
Yeah. I remember I was a fat teenager.
Is that your driving force?
It was, to be honest.
Okay.
It was, because I realized, okay, I'm fat. There's nothing I can do. But there's something I can do. And I think I started doing exercise and sports, and I just fell in love with it. And it became second nature. And I've never been one to play the victim. I can't say, I'm naturally fat. There's nothing. There's something. It might not be easy,
but
and
I can do
sometimes I have to do it. And sometimes I do it not because I feel like it, but because I know it's good for me. It takes a lot of discipline to be consistent when it comes to fitness, because there's sometimes I'm like, oh, well, I don't really want to do anything.
Yeah.
But I tell myself, girl, you better get up.
Yeah.
You better. And I think what helps is me finding a sport that I love. I love tennis.
Okay.
I can play tennis every day, 10 times a day. If I'm not feeling well, I will still play tennis. My husband says, the only time I won't play tennis is when you know Oyin's dying. As in, if somebody asks her and she says no, she'll be like,
wow, there's something wrong here.
There's something wrong. So finding a sport that you love definitely helps. So I've always been big on fitness, but I love food. So maybe if I didn't like
you need
food,
to balance it.
If I didn't like food, maybe I'll be like a size 6. But I like food, so I will not trade that food.
That's so funny, because I would have never thought that you were like on the bigger size in the years I've known you. It shows you how much work you've probably been putting in.
Yes. My husband says, do you never rest? I've gotten so used to it. It's like second nature to me. And if I don't do a workout in a few days, it affects me psychologically.
Right.
I wouldn't be able to cope mentally. And I think I have so much energy. And I think people say you have so much energy. I have energy because I work out.
Right.
The more workout I do, the more energy I have. When I don't work out, I'm just like a slob.
Yeah.
I'm like lethargic. I can't just do anything. But the more I work out, the more energy.
Yeah. You're basically telling your body that you need to keep up. Because when you then use less, it's like, actually, I don't need to give you any more mitochondria or whatever.
Yeah.
I need to just chill. But when you actually like burn out a lot, because some people don't understand that logic, but yeah, it does give you energy.
It does. It
pumps you up.
It does pump you up. So I've always been, from a teenager, I tell people all I need to do is smell food and I put on the weight. So that's why I have to be on it.
Wow.
On it. But I think it's a good thing that I love it. I love fitness. I really do.
But you've had to grow into loving it.
I had to grow
because some people think some people naturally love it.
No.
But showing up every day makes you love it.
Makes you love it. And you still have your days when you're like, oh, I'm not feeling it. But you always, what I tell myself is that even if I'm not feeling it, I would always feel the better
of it. Yeah, later.
So just get up and do it.
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
And finally, before we round up, because we can keep talking forever, but you've spoken about your husband a lot in different phases. How important has, I guess, that partnership been in your journey of becoming better and growing?
The person you marry is so important. And it can be a game changer. Marriage is not smooth. It's not, and they live happily ever after. Absolutely not. You have the tough times, you have the great times, and he has been very, very, very supportive in my journey. And I think the interesting thing is, he would probably tell you that I'm at my happiest now. I'm at my happiest now, just because I'm very present.
Yeah.
I'm not stressed, and he's always encouraged what I do. And even when I took time off, because from when I quit the cake business to when I started, this was a period of 5 months where I did nothing.
Yeah,
absolutely. And that's not me.
Yeah,
I always want to have something, but I knew mentally I just needed to just shut down. And I remember telling my husband after a month, I'm like, please just allow me
to just be.
He said, no rush. However long you need, I'm not rushing, because I always jokingly say, I want to be a lady of leisure. Yeah. I want to be a lady of leisure. And I became a lady of leisure for maybe 4 or 5 months. And I'm like,
I need to work.
I need to work. I can't do this.
We're created to work.
I need to do something. So He has been very, very supportive. My kids have been amazing. I've been blessed with amazing,
Thank God.
amazing kids, and I have it good, and God has been so good. God has been so good. I am happy, and I think being content is one of the biggest things to happiness. Content. Because a
Absolutely.
lot of the time we always want what we don't have.
Yeah. Word.
We want what we don't have. We
Wow.
want the looks we don't have.
Yeah.
We want the material things we don't have.
It's easier to just accept.
Yeah. But if you are happy with what God has given to you, that's contentment.
Yeah.
Bible says righteousness with contentment is
Great
great
thing.
gain.
Yeah.
It's the best place you can be.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that. My mom taught us that, to be content wherever we are, with whatever we have.
Love it. You mentioned being like in the happiest phase. Do you feel or wish that this came earlier?
No.
No, you feel like it's the right timing.
As I always say, nothing ever happens by mistake. I think if this happened earlier,
you might not have.
Remember I was talking about regrets?
Yeah.
I might have said,
yes, you said.
I would have regrets. So I believe in surrender. Allow God's timing to dictate. I love where I am. And somebody has asked me once, if you had a choice to go to a certain age, what would you be? None.
Now.
For me, every year for me
gets better.
It gets better.
I love it.
Every year for me gets better. I am one that is, I am intentional about my life. I'm intentional about being happy.
Yeah.
My happiness is not dependent on anyone or anything.
Yeah.
I make that choice.
I love it.
So whatever makes me happy, I will do it. I don't wait for somebody else.
Yeah.
That's why I love myself too. I curate my own happiness.
I love it.
Joy is come from the inside. Circumstances, it might not be what I want, but I choose
joy.
I choose to be happy. I choose.
Yeah.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
It's a
not
choice.
by the happenings of the environment.
So that's why they say joy comes from within.
Yeah.
So the outside doesn't determine. So you choose if you want to be happy. Circumstances around you might not dictate it, but then you make a choice. I'm still going to be, I'm alive. There's reasons to be happy.
Yeah.
At least I have life.
Yes.
That's enough.
I have life. I'm breathing. I have hope. What does the term building your better you, as we round up, mean to you?
Building your better you is your choice. You build, you determine the narrative, decide what your better you is.
Yeah.
And you work at it. Don't wait for somebody to make you your better you.
Come on.
You make you look at yourself and like, girl, you're fine.
Yeah.
Girl, you're smart. Girl, you can do anything.
Yeah.
You said, so whether you're single, the man is not going to make you a better you.
No, he's not.
Kids are not going to make you a better you. You
Absolutely.
have everything you need to make you a better you. If you're Christian, that's all you need.
Yeah.
You need God, and that's all you need. That's your better you.
Yeah.
Your better you comes from the inside. So you determine with God.
Yeah.
Your better you. Don't make that somebody else. Don't say, when I get this job, I'll feel better. When I get this, no. You
now
determine your better you.
Yeah.
And now, so you enjoy where you are.
Yeah.
On the way to where you're going. So every moment for you should be something to celebrate.
Yeah.
So always be happy. The better you is in your hands.
Yeah.
You decide it.
Love it.
It's not left to anybody else.
And that's the mic drop. Thank you so much. It's been an amazing time. I hope you've had fun.
I have had fun. You are such a natural. I've had a lovely time.
Thank you so much for coming on. And thank you guys for having us in this episode. I hope, and I'm sure you have to have good tips that you're going to apply and take away and meditate on from this episode. Where can we find you?
So my business is called Cairo, Keeping It Real with Oyin. So Kiro. We're on every social media. So we're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube as Keeping It Real with Oyin. So we keep it real. Yo.
And parents can find you there.
Young people can find me there. I love to work with parents. I love to work with young people. I just love to encourage people. So if you need encouragement, you shall.
And you need to grab her, because you're one of the reasons who I am today. And I thank God for your.
You blow my mind, Dami. To be honest, you are amazing. And if any of my kids could be anything like you, I would be delighted. I would be
thank
grateful.
You.
Because you're definitely an inspiration to me.
Thank you. But you saw me in like age, what, I don't know, 11. So you're part of the journey. So we thank God. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining. And I'll see you in the next episode of Building Your Better You. Bye. It's a wrap. And that's a wrap on today's conversation. Take a moment to reflect. What's one small move you can make today towards a better you? If you love this episode, it would mean so much if you hit the subscribe button, left a review, or shared it with someone you care about. Until the next episode, keep building, keep growing.